Okay, this is a follow-up video of that post I did between Liquaforce plant starter and Agrovision SCP starter. SC stands for sugarcane. So I got quite a few messages asking me for the data on that. So how did I get the data? I did infrared flight, and that gave me a lot of information on that. Not just red and green and yellow. There's a lot of information there. So I done the infrared flight a couple weeks after planting. Then we could see some inconsistency in biomass from the Liquaforce side, and it had a catch up later on. So the biomass actually became a bit later when I was doing the second infrared flight, and the second infrared flight was just before the top dress fertilizer was applied. So I'm just waiting a couple more weeks to go back there and do another infrared flight to keep showing. So the difference in performance is 5% consistently, right? But what lots of people got confused, and that's why I have this video here to explain, is the low NDRE. So what happened? The low value shows where the plant actually is not as strong. So you have the top part that is very strong, and you have the low one that is not so strong for many reasons, right? So even the lowest part of both sides, Agrovision was 62% healthier. So when you look at the graph, it shows Agrovision lower because the variation in between the good and the bad is not as much. So Liquaforce had a much higher variation. That's why the graph caused a bit of confusion. So this is one of the reasons that other operators can do the infrared flight. They just cannot read and do the interpretation, which I can. If it is a small block, I can do the interpretation on the farm. If not, I have to take to my office and leave processing overnight the entire image so I can do the analysis in the next day. So yes, both fertilizers do have organics on there, so we both have molasses, but I do add more biostimulants. And that's the advantage to have a product that is designed by microbiologists, right? And I also studied plant physiology. So I can tell you what exactly to put in, when to put in, how much to put it, and that's what makes the difference. So there's lots of biostimulants on there, beneficial microbes, and to stimulate the microbes already in the soil. So what happened when the fertilizer comes, you already have a universe of microbes nice and strong and active there to start processing the nutrients to become plant available. And the plant is strong enough to take those nutrients. So we want the plant to take those nutrients as quick as possible, because not all of them are going to stay there forever. Some are going to leach, some are going to volatilize, and some not even be plant available. So that's a thing. Send me a message or give me a call. I'm going to leave in the description below, and then we can talk about, I can explain a bit more there. If you want to get the raw data for that infrared image, I can send it. It's pretty much like a spreadsheet, so that's why I send a MailChimp with the graph. If you didn't get the email with the graph, send me a comment below, leave your email address on there, and then I can send to you. So the graph is much easier to understand. Just understand that the variation, again, Agrovision gonna be lower. It doesn't mean that's not as good. It means actually it is good. Because when you talk about infrared, not always the highest is good, and not always green is good and red is bad. Depends what we're looking for. So the other thing is the foliar fertilizer blends for Agrovision. So it's coming a video on there about the 6 steps, and I strongly suggest you to follow. You don't want to miss that, because not all of you, but to most of you, 6 steps is making you lose money. You put in money and the money is not being used. It's the same thing. You go to the butcher, you ask a piece of meat, and you leave the meat on top of the bench and just walk away. It's pretty much what's happening with your fertilizer. So this video is gonna be coming in another week or so. So just follow for that, and you're gonna understand why. So there's lots of things happening, lots of information that I want to share, and that's why I'm starting doing those videos, because it's the easiest way for me to pass the message for a broad community. It's too many people actually for me to see individually, so the videos are making it easier. And then you come back to me with your questions, we can have then a discussion to clarify exactly what your questions are. So keep that in mind about the 60 steps, because not every soil can hold that much of nutrient at once, and I'm going to explain that a bit later as well. So it's just a teaser for what's coming. But think about that. The nutrients not being available for the entire growth stage of the cane or some other crops as well. So that's why it's very common to do one soil dressing in the beginning, and then we do foliar feed along the season when the crop needs more nutrients. Right, stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe, and I see you in the next video.